What if I told you this place was not just a temple, but an entire universe built in stone? A city where gods were believed to live, where kings competed for immortality, and where every wall hides a story older than history itself. Today, we explore Karnak Temple, the largest religious complex ever built by human hands. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine walking through a massive avenue lined with ram-headed sphinx. The air is hot, the stones are warm from the sun, and every step feels like entering another world. This is Karnak, not one temple, but a collection of temples built over more than 2,000 years. Thousands of workers, dozens of kings, millions of carved stones. Everything you see here was built to connect Earth with the divine. But why did ancient Egyptians build something so massive in one place? Location mattered. Karnak was built on the east bank of the Nile, the side associated with life and sunrise. For ancient Egyptians, the sun rising in the east represented birth and creation. This made Karnak the perfect place for worship. The temple aligned with cosmic beliefs: the rising sun, the yearly flooding of the Nile, the cycle of life and rebirth. Everything was symbolic. Nothing was random. And the deeper you go, the more the architecture begins to tell a story. Karnak was designed like a journey toward the divine. As you move forward, spaces become darker, ceilings become lower, access becomes restricted. Why? Because ordinary people stayed outside, while priests moved closer to the gods. Main sections, the great entrance and pylons, the courtyards, the hypostyle hall, sacred chambers, the sanctuary. Each step represented moving from the human world into the world of gods. But the entrance alone already tells a story of power. The pylons are those giant gateway walls. They were designed to look like mountains where the sun rises. Huge flags once waved from them. Bright colors covered the stone. Kings carved their victories here, turning architecture into propaganda. When people entered, they immediately felt small. That feeling was intentional. Power begins with awe. The processional road leading to Karnak was lined with hundreds of sphinx statues. Some had human heads. Others had ram heads representing divine protection. These statues created a sacred path. During festivals, priests carried statues of gods along this avenue. The public watched from the sides, seeing their gods travel, but nothing prepared visitors for what came next. Imagine a forest, made of stone, 134 giant columns. Some reach over 20 meters high. Sunlight entered from the center, creating dramatic beams. Originally, columns were brightly painted. Ceilings were deep blue with golden stars. Scenes showed kings offering gifts to gods. This wasn't decoration. This was symbolism. Columns equals marsh plants from creation myths, meaning the temple represented the beginning of the universe. Standing inside felt like standing at the moment of creation itself. But the carvings on these columns hide political secrets. Every pharaoh wanted to leave a legacy. Instead of destroying old structures, many added new layers. Some kings even carved their names over older ones. Why? Because if your name remained, your memory lived forever. Famous builders included Seti I, Ramses II, Thutmose III, Hatshepsut. Each ruler tried to make Karnak bigger than before. The temple became a timeline made of stone. Karnak was mainly dedicated to Amun. Amun began as a local god, but became the most powerful deity in Egypt. Priests believed the god's statue literally lived inside the temple. Daily rituals kept cosmic balance. Every morning priests woke the god, cleaned the statue, offered food and incense. No ordinary person could witness this. The temple was alive with rituals from sunrise to sunset. And once every year, the god left the temple. During the Opet festival, statues of gods were carried from Karnak to Luxor Temple. Music, dancers and crowds filled the streets. For the people, it was celebration. For the pharaoh, it was political power. The festival renewed the king's divine right to rule. Religion and politics were inseparable. Obelisks symbolized rays of sunlight. They were carved from single blocks of granite. Transporting them was a massive engineering achievement. Queen Hatshepsut built enormous obelisks here to prove her legitimacy. Some still stand today, thousands of years later. Their tips were once covered in gold, shining in the sun. But beneath this glory, many parts of Karnak vanished. Archaeologists continue finding buried foundations, hidden chapels, reed stones. Some parts were dismantled by later rulers. Others collapsed over time. Karnak is like a puzzle missing many pieces. Every excavation reveals something new. Priests used the sacred lake for purification. Before rituals, they washed here. Water represented creation and rebirth. At night, the lake reflected stars, connecting heaven and earth. Even today, standing beside it feels peaceful. Empires change. Religions change. As Egypt entered new eras, old rituals faded. Without priests, Karnak slowly fell silent. Sand covered parts of the complex. Centuries passed until explorers rediscovered it. Today, millions visit every year. Tourists walk where priests once walked. Scientists still study inscriptions. Restoration teams work constantly. Karnak is not finished telling its story. Karnak teaches us something incredible. Humans always wanted to build something eternal. Empires disappeared. Kings vanished. But stone remained. And now I want to ask you, if you could stand in Karnak during ancient times, what moment would you want to see? Write your answer in the comments.